Do you think gun violence is a problem in society today? Why or why not?
I believe gun violence is a huge problem today in society. I feel like every day we always hear something. We're here in the state of Texas. Something that was really big and impacted me a lot was the Uvalde shooting that happened. I think was it a year ago? I think so. And it really kind of puts us is this really happening? Is this the norm of the USA? And then I also think about my own siblings too. That could have been my own siblings at that elementary, and it's just it's kind of sad to say, but it's your luck, if it's your school next or somewhere else in the States. And I think it is a big, huge issue here in the U.S. especially, because I guess guns you can literally get anywhere. I've heard you can even order them on Amazon. It's crazy how they have an age oh yeah, you have to be 21 to drink, but to buy a gun, you can be 18, and and sometimes you don't even have to be a certain age. Some people can just get it from just from knowing somebody. And for sure there should be more restrictions, more stuff enforced on to get guns. It should be harder to get guns. And I get it, some people use it for safety reasons and for their own personal stuff, but then there's other people that are mentally ill and are not in the right headspace that have a gun with them and they want to go hurt other people, which is not okay. And that's also another thing to do background checks or reinforce on people hey, mental health awareness, let's make sure you're okay, we don't want you to hurt anybody else or hurt yourself. And we're in college right now, shoot, it can happen here too, you just never know. And it's really sad to think and say that it's such a normal thing here in the US, which it shouldn't be a thing at all, honestly. Innocent lives are lost every day because of gun violence. And for sure this society, next generation, we need to come together and think of a way to stop gun violence and put laws out there and force stuff. So that's my opinion.
That's good. How could we improve the issue?
What I was mentioning, how we can improve that is being more, putting restrictions on guns, making more laws. And we can only do so much because at the end of the day it's what a person wants to contribute to this society. But putting more awareness, putting more laws out there of you can only own handguns, there's no reason why you should be having these big guns that just automatic, whatever it is, just laying around your house. You gotta have a reason, and that reason shouldn't be that you want to go harm other people and stuff like that. You can use it for personal, to protect yourself, but there shouldn't be a reason why you should just be having big, enormous guns laying around your house. And maybe we can even do programs with gun control stuff and gun violence and stuff, more awareness, spread that around. Because it's one thing to say, oh yeah, we're gonna do something to stop whatever, but it's another thing to actually do it and do the action and make a change. Because really we say it and I haven't really seen any big changes or stuff like that. So that's my opinion.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Rukova, and today I will be interviewing
Diego Rubalcaba.
So Diego will ask you a few questions, and I just want your opinions and just feedback. So Diego, first of all, where do you live?
I'm from Brownsville, Texas.
Okay. Do you think the increase in immigrants affects our economy?
Well, since we do live in a border city, I believe that immigrants do have a big impact on our economy. Seeing how many small businesses have formed due to the immigrants that have come from Mexico. So I do believe that immigrants do have a huge impact in our economy here in the border city.
Okay, so next question. Do you think that the states that are on the border are more affected than the states in the rest of the country?
So similar answer to the previous question, I do believe that immigrants do play a big role in the economy of border cities or border states. They contribute a lot to anything that any small business that is formed by the immigrants that do come here, any type of money that is brought in by them is considered an impact in our economy. So I do believe that they play a huge role in any border state or border city.
Okay, last question. Do you feel safe with so many immigrants crossing?
So since we are descendants of Mexican immigrants ourselves, me personally, I don't think that there's any problem with immigrants crossing to seek refuge over here, but I do know that some people do feel unsafe with many immigrants that do cross, but I believe that for the most part, immigrants just come to live a better life, make more money. I'm pretty sure anybody would do that.
Okay, and that will conclude our interview. So thank you, Diego, for answering those questions.
Today I'm going to be talking to Jackie about climate change. So my first question is, what do you believe we could do to slow down climate change?
I believe there's a lot of things that we can do to slow down climate change. I think that it's a very big issue that a lot of people try to ignore. And it's really in the little things that we do every single day. I think littering is probably one of the worst things that are happening to the environment. Man, like we just see videos all the time of animals swallowing trash or of oil and toxic waste being literally dumped into the ocean because they think that, oh, we can't put it on land, so let's just put it in the water. But there's still a whole ecosystem down there of mammals who need fresh water, fish who need fresh water, everything like that. So it's really in the little things. I think people oftentimes just like throw their trash on the floor whenever literally there's trash cans right there.
2 steps away.
Yes, and I think we see it even just on our campus, even just in our neighborhoods, where people just don't take the little initiative to clean up after themselves. So I think that's something that we can really do is just, and it's not really even that much more than what we're already doing, you know, just taking that extra step, walking the 10 feet, throwing your stuff away, cleaning up after yourself, and not littering the environment.
Okay, thank you. And then one more question. How do you feel about climate change, or what do you think it is?
So I think it is a very big issue. Like I said before, I think people very much so try to ignore it because, I mean, that's a coping mechanism. Whenever you see an issue, it's sometimes easier to just say, oh, that's not true, than actually accepting that it is true. I think we can see it in our air whenever you go to maybe another country or like a forest or a rainforest where there's not a lot of people around, not a lot of houses, cars. You can literally just feel it in the air that it's so much cleaner. So I think that it is very prevalent in the climate, and we're seeing like the polar ice caps melt, the temperatures rising every year. But I think just more importantly, like I said, the quality of our life has really gone down with these issues going on. Whenever I traveled to Europe, I noticed it in the small things they do. No store gave plastic bags or plastic straws with your drink. Everything was paper.
It's crazy.
Everything was paper. And it was definitely a culture shock because we're so used to convenience. We're so used to everything just being handed to us and being so easy. But the minute whenever you go to another country who takes it more seriously and you're at the grocery store buying stuff and there's not a plastic bag in sight, you're like, wow, I actually can just carry my stuff to my car. I actually can just carry my stuff on the bus and go home. Taking that public transportation. It's uncomfortable at first, but it is those little things that we can do. We're just, I think here in our country, very used to comfortability. And
Spoiled.
we're
Yeah.
spoiled and we're not willing to change the way we live our daily lives, like through the public transportation system, through just having to grab your groceries and walk to the bus. And we did it and we were fine.
Yeah.
And I already know if I would have been here, I would have put it in a plastic bag and crumbled it up and threw it away right whenever I got to my car or whenever I got home. And I also noticed, I think it's just like another thing, sometimes we waste a plastic bag just for buying one thing. And I noticed because I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm stealing it. I don't want to look like I'm just walking out with something. So I'll put one thing in a plastic bag. Whenever that one item is already wrapped in plastic and all this packaging, I put it in another plastic bag just to walk 10 feet out of the store to crumble it up and throw it away. So I think climate change is real, and all it takes is just a few minor changes to really make a big difference.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. That was very important and that was very logical.